Well, hey guys, I recently purchased a new wing shooting gun. It's a Mossberg 930 semi-auto 12 gauge. Now the two things that I most frequently do with this gun, I shoot a lot of skeet and I do some goose hunting. Those are probably the two primary things that I bought this gun with the intention of doing. So I've got a few skeet chokes I'm going to test through this gun. I've got the Mossberg choke in an improved cylinder. That's what the gun came with. I figure that's a reasonable skeet choke. I've got a Carlson skeet choke, and I also have a Kaw Valley skeet choke. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a couple of shots with this gun with no choke, just shooting a couple of rounds with just threads. Make sure that the point of aim, point of impact is the same. Just make sure that my point of impact is right where I'm pointing the gun. Then I'm going to put each of the 3 choke tubes in one at a time, take a couple shots with each, and see if we can't figure out which skeet choke pattern's the best in this Mossberg 930. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with a couple shots just threads. We're going no choke just to figure out where this point of aim, point of impact is on this gun barrel. Well, surprisingly, point of impact is just slightly left of point of aim, maybe even a touch high, but certainly a tad to the left. So that's interesting to note, but with no choke, you can expect it's a pretty wide pattern. Alright, so here goes 25 yards with the improved cylinder choke. This is the Mossberg choke improved cylinder. Alright, with the improved cylinder choke, as could be expected, we tightened up the pattern just a little bit. Point of impact was still a touch left, but not as bad as with no choke. I'm certainly not expecting this to be the best skeet choke, so we're going to try the 2 skeet chokes next. Alright, here we go with the Kaw Valley. This is the Kaw Valley Precision Skeet Choke. I might have pulled that second one just a little bit to the left. Alright, so the Kaw Valley Precision Skeet Choke certainly tightened things up a little better than the improved cylinder choke, but still a pretty big open pattern, which is what you want for a skeet pattern, and still patterning a little bit to the left, which again the gun by itself prints to the left, so I might have to look into a shim kit. But here's what we got from the Kaw Valley Precision Skeet Choke. on to the Carlsons. This is a Carlson Skeet choke, 715 constriction. Alright, so last but not least, now on to the Carlson's choke. This is a Carlson's extended skeet choke. Well, I think the Carlson skeet choke might actually just be my favorite. I feel like I pulled the second shot just a little to the right. So I'm going to put on a fresh target and hit it with that Carlson's choke one more time. In fact, we're going to try this one freehand, just like I'd be shooting at skeet. So here we go, one more shot with the Carlsons. This is probably my favorite, although the Kaw Valley was a pretty close second. All right, one last shot with the Carlsons, just because I feel like I pulled one of those too. Changed my mind. I'm also going to take one last shot with the Kaw Valley, because I noticed there's a little bit of holes in this pattern with the Carlsons. So I'm going to take one more shot with the Kaw Valley and see if there's fewer gaps in the pattern. Last shot with the Kaw Valley tube. Felt good. Alright guys, I'm actually going to have to go home and count pellets here, because the Kaw Valley pattern looks very, very similar to the Carlson's pattern. So I'm gonna have to actually go home and count pellet holes, try to figure out which of these had fewer gaps. These Kaw Valley precision choke tubes are what I would call a budget friendly choke tube. These are 30 bucks a piece. But we'll go home, we'll count some pellet holes, and we'll see if we can't figure out which of these two chokes had a more favorable pattern for shooting skeet. As you can see here, the Kaw Valley skeet choke tube was the most uniform of all the skeet chokes tested. I got a total of 203 pellets inside of the 30-inch circle. After a closer comparison, it was pretty obvious that the Carlson's extended skeet choke tube was not quite as efficient as the Kaw Valley precision choke tube. I counted 170 pellets inside of the 30-inch circle with the Carlson's choke tube, and as you can see, it was not nearly as uniform as the Kaw Valley precision choke tube. It wouldn't be much of a skeet choke test without actually getting to the skeet range. Pull. Pull.
blow coming at you.
Pull.
Right.
Washed.
Pull.
Oh, there you go.
Just saying.
Well, hey fellas, after pattern testing all these chokes and shooting around a skeet using 2 of the chokes, I don't know if I would say that I was disappointed, but I sure wasn't excited. I just felt like there was a lot left on the table with either one of these chokes. They were an improvement over the factory choke, but not a giant improvement over the factory choke. Now, while I was researching skeet chokes, all of my research kept pointing to the same company's choke. That's the Muller choke tubes. But they're a little pricey. So I was having trouble convincing myself to spend $100 on a choke tube. But after patterning all these other chokes and shooting some skeet with a couple of them, I decided that it would be a worthy investment to go ahead and pick up a Muller choke tube. I picked up the U1 skeet choke in the featherlite competition series. And fellas, to tell you the truth, I was pretty blown away by the results. As it turns out, that $100 investment was well worth the money. I pattern tested several rounds through this choke at the same 25 yards that I tested the other choke, with the same 30-yard circle target, and I just found the efficiency of the Muller choke to be remarkably better than any of the other chokes I tested. I found the patterns through the Muller choke to be 20 to 25% more efficient than either the Kaw Valley or the Carlson's choke. With the Muller choke on the left and the Kaw Valley choke tube on the right, notice the difference in pattern density and pattern efficiency, how much more dense and more efficient the Muller choke tube pattern is on the left. Also, with the Carlson's choke on the right and the Muller choke on the left, you'll notice the same difference in pattern density and pattern efficiency. The Muller choke has far fewer gaps, far fewer holes. It's more dense and far more efficient. There's 250 pellets in the Muller choke tube, 207 in the Kaw Valley, and 170 in the Carlson's. So guys, the conclusion's pretty simple for me. The Muller chokes are well worth the money. And as far as a skeet choke tube goes, the competition featherlights from Muller are what I'm going to trust in my shotgun. And I'll probably have some skeet chokes for sale on eBay here in the very near future. But hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Team Jesus Outdoors. Hey, if you like this kind of content, we shoot a lot of rifles, we shoot a lot of shotguns. We love pattern testing. Of course, fishing season's right around the corner, so we're getting ready to start up our Detroit River reports for the year. But guys, if you enjoy this kind of content, please hit that like button. Make sure that you're subscribed so that you get our content as soon as we put it out. Fellas, please go over and check out our other channel, TJO Men's Ministry. There we talk about the Bible, we talk about faith. And I hope that you guys will check that channel out. God bless, tight lines. We'll see you guys on the water.